Welcome. I'm your host today, Mike, the CEO of Speedify. Just kidding. Alex is away today, so I'm joined by Will. He's one of our Speedify developers. What's up, Will?
Uh,
How you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. Happy to be back.
Yeah, so Will on the way to work today. Give him a little honk. He gave me a little wave. It was a good day today so far.
I didn't wave, but you honked more than once.
I did. So we are here at Speedify doing office hours. So Will, why don't you tell us what office hours is for those who are just joining us?
Okay, so office hours is one of the places where we answer your questions about Speedify. Any comments or concerns you might have about how we're doing, how the app is treating you.
Yeah.
We also post some stuff on YouTube, answer your questions there. So if there's anything we don't hit today, just leave us a comment on any of our videos.
Yeah, we do a lot of you ask, we answer kind of videos, and the production. I mean, they do a great job in the office. So definitely give our YouTube, like and subscribe us wherever you're at. Twitch, I don't even know where we're at. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook Live. Give us a like and subscribe. So we do have a question of the day. Do you have 5G coverage where you are, or does it always seem to switch back to 4G? What do you think? Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this
yeah.
before. That I don't think that there's any way to know. I mean, your phone lies to you all the time. How would you know?
So I always go by the little icon on the top of your phone when it says you're on 5G. But Will says that's just a lie. So we're gonna have to say AT&T, where's my speed? But do you have 5G coverage where you are? And please give us a comment on where you are and if you have the coverage, or does it always seem to switch back to 4G? So always make sure you're up to date on our YouTube channel as well. We have a new video coming out right after this, premiering at 10:45 Eastern. It's a video about combining your cellular and Wi-Fi on your iPhone. We demonstrate how to get the best speeds out of your iPhone. We show you how Speedify can instantly improve your iPhone's available connections. And I don't know about everybody, but when I'm walking around the mall or leaving my house, the connections go bonkers. And Speedify is here to help us out. So those who are just joining us and new, so what is Speedify?
So Speedify is an app. It's going to let you combine any number of internet connections. And so with that, you get increased reliability when you need it. You get failover and redundancy when you need it. But you also get increased speed when you don't need the reliability. It's intelligent. It'll spread your traffic over where it needs to go. And it does some cool stuff on top of that. So we've got pair and share.
And we got a lot of cool features, right? So let's say good morning to some of our audience members. So Abundance, good morning. Tomboy, hello to you. And hey, we even have some people joining us from Malaysia. So Quiet Galaxy is trying to answer our question today. So his phone is lying. You want to elaborate a little bit more on the 5G scenario?
So I think it's a marketing. From what I hear, it's a marketing tactic. Companies will tell you that you're using 5G. I met one of the people that writes some of the standards for those 5G cell towers, but he was pretty dry. He didn't talk much about the phone.
What? An engineer doesn't have a great personality? You're kidding me. They're not like us then, I guess.
No, not like us.
So we are using Speedify. So where can we even start? So Speedify, you mentioned Speedify does channel binding. So can you explain a little bit about what channel binding is? And let us go over to our connection and a Wi-Fi connection. Oh. Hello? Yes, so we're gonna go right over to our Speedify. Here's what the app looks like. So you can see we have Ethernet, Wi-Fi. What is channel bonding in a sense? So if you're on your Mac, you plug in Speedify, you start running it. You have an Ethernet connected to your Mac. Let's just say you have the Wi-Fi. So what's happening?
Yeah, so channel bonding is a technique that allows you to use more than one of your internet connections at the same time. So for a typical phone that might have both Wi-Fi and cellular, with Speedify, you can use those both at the same time when you need to. And it'll, in the best case, double the amount of throughput that you have.
So that's fantastic, right? So if you have Speedify and you are able to have other internet devices to connect to your laptop or your PCs, such as like an external Wi-Fi connection. That's great, right? But what happens when you have a bunch of people with a bunch of phones? Are we able to connect those to Speedify?
Yes, we are.
So how do we manage to do that?
With a little bit of magic called parent share.
So it's called parent share. So for those who don't know, we released parent share now. So tell us what parent share is, and then we'll go through a little demo and we'll show the users what that actually does for them.
So parent share is what allows you to take your phone that might have a cellular connection and some Wi-Fi connection, put it on some Wi-Fi network, and then everybody else on that Wi-Fi network, like this computer over here, start using its internet connections as well as its own. You can do that with any number of devices.
So you mentioned it has to be on a Wi-Fi network, but so all the devices for everybody listening that you need to be on the same local Wi-Fi network. So that's how you are discoverable.
Currently.
Yes, currently. So we're working on that. So what
We're
happens
doing
when two developers come into a studio? We're running Speedify, and we want to combine our cellular devices with our Mac. So what we're going to do is you're going to see the new parent share section right on the dashboard. It's very swift, very neat. You're going to see how many active devices there are. That means how many devices are actually connected to your application. How many discovered devices, which means how many devices on your local network are running Speedify. Then of course a manage button. So we're going to go and we're going to say, hey, we have 2 devices that we discovered.
Now, one of them might be a criminal because it's got squids and various emojis and crabs in it.
Do the emojis have anything meaningful to you, Will?
No, they don't have
Okay.
anything meaningful.
Will's an emoji guy, so we're going to take you through it. So right now on our Mac, we see 2 brand new phones on our local network, and we want to use one of their connections. So the only thing we need to do is tap pair, and we will show you a bunch of things. So we're going to tap pair. It's going to say, hey, do you want to pair and share with squid checks? Once you're paired, you'll be able to easily share your cellular connections back and forth on the same Wi-Fi network. But it's really important to notice that all data sent between the devices and the Speedify service is encrypted.
It is.
You can modify the device's permission or unpair it at any time. So we're giving the users full permission. So you're not just pairing and it's just mindfully going to use it, right? And you can set limits or stop sharing to prevent overuse of your cellular connection. So the top point I want to make it very clear that when you connect to another device, all that data is encrypted. So even though your cell phone's given my Mac cellular connections, it's not reading the packets. It can't see it. It's just encrypted. So we're going to go ahead and request a pair. And at the same time that happens, we're going to give you guys a look right there. So the iPhone is going to get a pairing request. We're going to say, let's pair that up. Success. So let's go right back to our speed. Our iPhone has a cellular connection and our Mac does not. The iPhone is automatically going to be giving the Mac its internet. So you're going to see on the Mac, it says receiving from. We're going to go back to our little graph. You're going to see that the new phone, Mr. Squid and Crab, is up on the adapter list. You can see when it's being used. And it's as simple as that. So now, if the Wi-Fi goes out or the Ethernet goes out, you're ready to use pair and share. And to demonstrate that, we can go through a bunch of scenarios, but let's take some questions from the audience. So I wish when you pair and share a device, it would let you choose what primary means and why we don't set our pair and share connections to that.
So primary, we typically reserve primary connections for the best we can possibly hope for. Parent share has the limitation of using extra battery because it's a lot of extra work to go over the local network and communicate with the peers, all that stuff. It's also not as fast as just using the Wi-Fi directly, or better yet, plugging into some Ethernet port on that. So it's usually not optimal to put that thing on primary.
Right. So when we're determining some of this let's say priorities. We can go through some of the priorities and tell you what they are. The first thing we're going to monitor is whether a connection is expensive. So your cellular connection is really expensive. It costs money to run it. It costs batteries. So we're going to look at the Wi-Fi, right? If the Wi-Fi is fast enough, we're not going to use your cellular. So the reason that we kind of make it a secondary priority is because you're already on something really, really fast. You don't need it. But if that Wi-Fi or that Ethernet goes out, Speedify is going to be right there to pick it up. So let's take another question, and then you want to run through some priorities and kind of explain what they are.
Let's do
Does
that.
that sound fun? Look, it's fun. We're using Speedify. Of course, it's fun. Hello, Imagine. So does anybody have any questions around parent share, what the new feature is, how you can use it, some use benefits? If you do use it, drop us a line. Let's show everybody, the benefits of using Speedify with parent share. And don't forget to answer our question of the day. It is, well, what is our question of the day?
Do you have 5G where you are, and does it switch you back to 4G?
Let's hear it. Oh, thanks, Marlene. Marlene's teaching us. So, Alex is usually here. We're filling in. We're like, I probably dating the audience. I always say it's like Wayne's World. When Wayne leaves, we're just Garth. We're sitting here. We're like, hopefully we can get you through this half hour and make it entertaining and knowledgeable. So part of what we're doing with Parent Share, and you guys mentioned prior, you can click on an adapter and you can kind of go down and you can see Parent Share. So the priority is only uses backup or secondary. So we do restrict the primary priority on parent share connections. So let's go to another connection so you can actually see it. So right now, here's our Ethernet cable. We have a couple different priorities. We have automatic, which is definitely recommended, primary, secondary, backup, and never. Will, you want to take us through each of the primary, secondary backups and let us know, how they could use that?
Yeah, so I mean, you should always use it automatic whenever you can. But primary is you imagine priorities as like a stack. Primary, and as long as everything is okay, within some threshold of reasonability, we won't go down to secondary. And then, as long as everything is okay within some threshold, we won't go down to backup. So your secondary and backup connections will never be used if your primary is perfectly fine. And if everything is the same priority, then it's like not having any priorities at all, unless the priority is never. Never priority for regular adapters is a little bit like just unpairing your device. You can still see it as discovered, the little parent share menu. You're just not ever going to.
I won't do that on a live demo, but that means we would never use Ethernet until we set that back to one of our other priorities. So yeah, that's priority. So let's take another. Will bypass specific apps be added feature in the software soon?
Maybe. I mean, we have all the infrastructure for it in the app. It's you can do that through the CLI, just not through the UI. You can bypass specific domains and services and whatnot. I'm sure that we have some links in support for how to do that, but we can put that in the app.
So certain platforms do restrict us a little bit. So if you're on Apple platforms like iOS, Mac OS, iPad OS, Apple is very restrictive. They don't let you see what apps you're using. So on platforms like that, we're very restricted. We can't just say, "Hey, bypass Facebook." It doesn't work that way. But on those platforms, we do have a bypass domain list. So if you're on your bank app and you'll see a little Speedify says, "Hey, this website has been known to block VPNs. Do you want to bypass it?" So if you're having any problems, you can click your notifications. Hopefully you enable them, and that's why they're there to help you, use the software a little bit better. You can go ahead and say, "Yes, please bypass, my bank." So anytime you go to your bank, VPN backs off. You get a direct connection to your bank, and then you're still protected when you leave that website, which is really important.
Yeah, bypass is unfortunate, but absolutely necessary for usability.
It's a cat and mouse game, right? We're always working on making it a little bit better. Um, yeah, let's see. Make Speedify connect first, then search if there's an available network. Tariq, can you elaborate a little bit on that? So we have an answer to one of our question of the days. Do you have 5G coverage and where are you? And does it switch to 4G? And Abundance says, I always have 4G being in the farmlands. That sounds about right. 5G seems to be more of an urban setting where, the upgraded towers are, but yeah, sounds great.
Where are the farmlands, by
Tell us where you're at, Abundance. I think maybe,
the way? Are you a farmer, by the way?
yeah.
That's very cool.
Here is another question from the audience. When data limit a WAN, if any bypass app is being used, this data will not count towards the data limit feature, correct? That's right. So if you bypass domains or websites, it's not going through the VPN tunnel, so it does not count towards monthly limit.
As long as it's not going through the VPN, it does not count against your monthly usage.
And how you could test that. So how you bypass, let's say Facebook. How do we know that bypass is working? So you can see at the top, we have a graph. You can switch it between usage, latency, loss, and bypass. So the bypass graph is going to show you how much, data essentially is being put through, that is being bypassed. So when you bypass, let's say Facebook.com or Amazon Prime, that data will show up in this graph. So you can be sure that it's working. Another question from the audience. Originally, it seemed a single user account could be up to 5 simultaneous connections. Over the past couple of months, this changed to 5 devices per week. This becomes troublesome when I use different setups depending on what sport I'm streaming. Can you change it back to 5 simultaneous connections or at least make it 6 devices per week? So, our basic plan allows you to have 5 devices basically register with your Speedify account per week. If you do another one, the whatever one was last connected after a week, it drops off. I think you can go on Speedify, myspeedify.com and manage that a little bit better now. But we have a great upgraded plan, family plans, allows you to have 5 devices for 5 accounts. So that means, 5 family members on your family account can each have 5 devices. So if you need more devices per week, think about upgrading to a family plan. I think that will suit everything you need, Larry.
When you say connections, Larry, do you mean like physical network connections or something else? See, because Speedify shouldn't prevent you from having more than 5.
I read it as 5 simultaneous devices. But Larry, if you mean 5 connections, like 5 cell phones connected to one Speedify app, clarify that for us and we can answer you a little bit better. Coming in from CM Coder, which is the best configuration when I have 2 cell phones and sharing my connection to a work laptop that I can install the Speedify app? What advice do you have for him, Will?
It depends what you mean by configuration. That sounds great.
No, he's asking what is the best configuration. So he has 2 cell phones and he's sharing his connection to a work laptop that I can install the Speedify app. Well, first, I really wish you could install Speedify app. But second, what is your setup like? Are you sharing over hotspot? Out of the box, Speedify has a bunch of default settings. Certain connections are detected to be expensive, like cellular, and we're going to put them in secondary. Other connections like Wi-Fi, we're going to automatically put that in primary. We're also going to have so you're going to see, bonding mode, which is part of what Will is explaining with our channel bonding technology. So right away, we're going to default you to speed mode, which is, give me the fastest speeds available. And we're also going to put on enhanced streaming. So that means if you're streaming sports or, you're watching movies, we're going to prioritize those streams. So the defaults coming out of Speedify, the engineers behind this are extremely smart. They're going to know, what adapters are really working good, what adapters are not. So, I think, if you're talking about physical connections and devices, give us a little bit more information.
Yeah, if you mean like a physical configuration, I just put the laptop on the hotspot and Yes. Depends what you're trying to do. I don't know what you're trying to do. If you're trying to use Speedify on the laptop, not sure.
Oh, call me V. He always has the best questions, doesn't he?
Voice
So he sounds like he's your arch nemesis over here.
Voice
So Voice Love asked us, what if you set all your connections to secondary?
It's like not having a priority at all. They'll all be used at the same time.
You recommend this?
No. I recommend everything at automatic.
We have a question about bypassed app. James Majors still can't get on Disney Plus even though it's bypassed. It should just work. Are you seeing that Disney Plus is blocking VPN? Go ahead.
Send us logs.
Yeah. Where do we send it?
Support@speedify.com. Send us logs.
Go ahead.
And give me a call. My phone number is private. Never mind it.
James, I apologize for Will today. But yeah, Voice Love will answer you. If you need Will to answer you, we'll give you his number. Call. He'll help you.
But yeah, on occasion we have issues with bypass lists because different services change their domains and this and that. So if something doesn't work, sometimes we just need to update the domain. If you happen to be familiar with Wireshark and you want to take a packet capture, send that along with us too.
So we have a new question from Overy. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Any plans on having step-by-step tutorials for newbies?
So we have quite a few support articles on how to use Speedify. It depends what you're trying to learn. I mean, the app hopefully is pretty easy to get set up with initially. And you know, the good 80% of what you could and what you want to and should do with Speedify is right there on the front page of the UI. But if there's something in particular that you're trying to do, let us know. Also, how do you pronounce your name?
All right. Also, it's good to know that Speedify has started a new series called US on YouTube. So be sure to check out our YouTube channel. It has a lot of explainer videos. It explains what, certain questions from our audience. So if you have a specific question or a tutorial you want, give us a post. And, the great media staff we have here might just make a video right for you. I do want to circle back to Larry. Where was Larry? It just moved.
Larry.
It just moved for me.
BP.
So Larry, I do want to clarify that if you need 6 devices, you can reach out to support, and we'll try to help you with that. That was our QA guy, and it looks like our CTO is chiming in too. Hey, Brian, he says we do allow 6 devices per week. So just send us an email about what you're seeing restricted, and we'll take care of you. Larry said, I may use a different laptop depending on who I'm streaming for. I understand. So you might be having different devices that you're given each week, and you need to be able to expand that. I understand. Moby, we bought Comcast, Starlink, AT&T 5G, Verizon 5G, and T-Mobile 5G, all 2.5 gigabyte ports. How many connections will Speedify Packet buy?
Any as it has to work with.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. You should send us a screenshot just so we can see that. That is so cool.
Yeah, so use Speedify. If you can hook up your Comcast, Starlink, your AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile all in Speedify, we would love to see it. We'd love to see your use case, but it should be able to use that. No problem.
I'm curious what you're doing with all that stuff.
Here comes another question. CM Coder. It works for me both ways. Parent share on both phones or only on one phone that I hotspot my laptop to. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, if your laptop can connect to your local iPhone hotspot and then you can kind of pair it all together, if you could use Speedify on the laptop, it would work a lot better. Yeah, or if you have a Raspberry Pi, you use that as a router. You could install Speedify on the Raspberry Pi, have both phones shared to the Pi, and then have your laptop, which can run Speedify, connect to that router, which is channel bonding all of those connections at the same time.
Yeah, you get really Speedify on a router.
All right. And Moby Connected said we use this in mobile rescue trucks.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you do rescuing for what? We had a storm chaser once who used
Yeah.
Speedify, who had some amazing stories. Do you do like EMT stuff? Mobile
Yeah. Give us a shout out. Tell us what you do.
Yeah.
At Speedify, let me see. I might be the one not finding them. I had a hard time using my Speedify on my laptop for a live event. I was looking for a video of how to do it. I couldn't find one. So you're looking for a tutorial of how to use Speedify to live stream. Yeah. So go to speedify.com, search our knowledge base, go to our YouTube channel. I'm sure that we could probably link you in the chat, or if you send us an email about some helpful tutorials and how to do that. And yeah, we'll set you up, no problem at all. Um,
We'll set you up, but you can always reach out to support@speedify.com. We'll help you out. We do want people to use Speedify.
we love when people use
I
Speedify.
do really enjoy it.
So, what's new in Speedify? So, recently we had an overhaul of our login system. So we now use SSO, which is great. You can log in with Apple, you can log in with Google. It'll help you maintain, use a bunch of different devices much easier. And our website, we use Apple Pay and Venmo now. So that's really, really convenient. So really no excuse for everybody to, bump their accounts up to a paid tier, get on those premium servers, and yeah, let Speedify help you on your everyday
Can I log
task.
in with Craigslist? Moving on.
This is when live TV goes wrong. So right now we're live Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Speedify right now 14.6.1 is out. So if you haven't updated, upgraded, installed, go check that. Go check that out on the App Stores, Google Play Stores, Speedify.com. You can download on Windows, Mac. We have you covered, even Linux. What else are we doing? So in case you missed it, like we said before, we're doing a You Asked video series where we take your comments and we turn them into videos. So if you have a question and you can't make it to our live streams, just put it in our comments, and the fabulous people behind Speedify Live will look at those comments, and we've been making videos to go along to answer some of those questions. We have a new one premiering today at 10:45 Eastern, so stick on the stream, wait for it to launch. It's going to be a really, really awesome video. It's about combining your cellular and Wi-Fi on your phone. We demonstrate how to get the best speeds out of your iPhone and how Speedify can instantly improve your iPhone's available connection. Sounds awesome. It's like you're buying this $1,500 amazing device for the camera, and then you go to use the internet somewhere spotty, and you're like, it just doesn't work. It looks pretty. Well, when you install Speedify, now it works like a workhorse. It's going to be awesome. It's going to cover you wherever you're at, on top of taking awesome pictures, right?
Right.
But Moby did answer about a storm chasers use our Moby Fusion router hardware and Texas mobile search and rescue trucks when there is a missing person search or an emergency.
That is
Wow.
so cool.
Yeah, I mean, that is extremely interesting. Thank you for your
Yeah.
service. Thank you for using Speedify. I hope everything's working out totally great, and we hope you find every person. And yeah, thank you. So I use it a lot, and I refer a lot of people. I'm even working on making some tutorials in Creole about it. Hey, that sounds great. Definitely, if you make some tutorials, send them over to us. We'd love to look at them. That sounds really, really fun. Maybe Creole is a language we should think about putting into the app.
Yeah, we we have been thinking about translating to more languages. We recently did, semi-recently, and translated our app into a bunch of different languages.
Yeah.
We just go down the list of most common.
So Will was one of the main actors in getting Speedify translated into all these new languages.
Wasn't
using well,
It was some interns, actually. Some very bright interns.
Yeah.
Who did most of the work.
they were really great.
I did a little bit of the plumbing. Helped out here and there, but it was the interns. Very bright.
But at the end of the day, who's translated? So ChatGPT, AI, bringing you all the new languages, Speedify. Thank goodness for all these new AI machines. They make everything a lot easier, a lot better. For now, we're at the 10:33 mark. Does anybody have any last questions they'd like to get in? I think we're good. Well, hopefully our coffee rants didn't go on too long. I hope you guys have learned a little bit. Don't forget, tune in 10:45. We have a brand new video dropping every Wednesday. We are live here at 10 o'clock. And yeah, I'm signing off. I'm Mike.